Men are being arrested for having boundaries. Let's just go ahead and jump into the video, and then you will understand.
When you go to the club and they tell you it's $10 to get in, what do? The cover is what it is, and if you don't pay it, you're not coming in. You're allowed to be the exact same way about what it takes to access you. If you tell someone basic communication and consideration skills are my cover charge, they can pay it or they can't come in. They don't get access to you. You're the bouncer at the door. You choose what you allow in your life and what you don't. Set your cover charge, and it doesn't matter who's coming up to try and get in. Quit being nice when it comes to your boundaries.
Now, guys, as you can see, men are done messing around. Men are done playing games. Men are saying, you know what? This is it. You know, women basically walk up to the door and say, yeah, so you're going to pay me to come inside. Like, how insane is that? You know, like, because if you think about it, men are the gatekeepers of the relationship. Men are the gatekeepers of the relationship. A woman does not have a home without the man. He's the one who gives her the house. He's the one who gives her the ring. He's the one who provides the food and the shelter and the clothing. He's the one who provides for the children. He's the provider. He's the protector. So God is the umbrella of man, and man is the umbrella of the woman. The woman is protected by both God and man. However, just like God has requirements, he says God has stipulations. Don't get me wrong. Regardless of what we do, God will always love us, accept us into his kingdom. We are offered eternal salvation, and that cannot be taken away. But that doesn't mean we will not face consequences for the things that we say and do and the choices that we make, like the consequences women are going to be facing for feminism. However, men decide who comes in. So in reality, when women are like, okay, you need to take us on an expensive dinner and do all of these different things for us, and maybe, just maybe, after dating us for like 7 months, you might just get some physical intimacy. It's supposed to be the other way around. First comes the physical intimacy. I don't take you out to dinner. You cook for me. You show me what value you have. I'm the employer. You are the person. You are the prospective employee. So you will respect my boundaries. But guess what? Women don't like this. They don't like it at all. And the fact is, you have men walking away and saying, well, okay, we're going to go where we are appreciated. We're going to go where we are celebrated. And women are very furious. And as a result, they want men arrested. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this video because it illustrates this point very well.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before one of these passport bros are arrested, tried, and found guilty and given a harsh sentence. Yeah, and it's going to be super hilarious when they start calling for social justice warriors to stand up and unite on their behalf. Because the hilarious thing is that it's typically black women who are standing up on black men's behalf and asking for justice.
Do you see how far gone these people are? Do you see how far gone they are? Black women in general, are going to have to are the ones who are going to save the men, and it's going to be a matter of time before the passport bros are arrested. Arrested for doing what? For traveling overseas to find wives? Arrested for going overseas to find people, to find a place where they are appreciated and celebrated? And then they wonder why these men are fleeing. And then these are the same women that are attacking and shaming Asian women and women in other countries for being in relationships with these men, saying that they are uneducated, they can't speak English, they don't have high school diplomas or college degrees, they are desperate, they are poor, they are destitute. You have women from some of the wealthiest countries in the world screaming and hollering at women in Western society, and these women don't care. These women in Western society don't care. There are videos of women in Singapore. Singapore is one of the richest countries on the face of the earth. Singapore, one of their primary languages is English. The kind of language that they speak in Singapore is the Queen's English. Like they have to speak like that special English. A lot of us speak slang. They have to speak really proper English in Singapore. And you have to have a lot of money to live in this country. It is an expensive country. And the residents of Singapore are primarily Asian. And you have women in Singapore screeching at women from America who are disrespecting Asian women for having relationships with foreign men. It's a disgrace. Now, let me ask you something. How do you think it looks? How do you think it looks to the how do you think it looks to the governments in these countries? Because the passport kings are traveling all around the world and they're not being thrown in jail, most of them, because they know how to act. And within the passport king community, any man who starts misbehaving, the kings basically say, dude, you need to act like a man. Like, if you go to these countries and you mess around, you're gonna find out. There are some dudes who went to some of these countries and they said certain things, but they can't go back now. They can't go back. And that's a correction of attitude, because men understand hierarchy. They understand when you're in another man's country, you need to behave even better. You need to behave even better. So of course, there will always be bad actors, but at large, most passport kings are very respectful and they are crushing it overseas. You don't hear these men getting arrested at the rates that men are being arrested in Western society. These men are going over to other countries, and as long as they're not being stupid like some of these YouTubers going to these countries and creating problems, committing crimes, they're doing fine. They're doing better than better. They're not having any problems with law enforcement. They're not being picked up by the cops. They're living very good lives. And you can look at Thailand. Thailand is so crazy about the foreigners. Now they want to tax, foreigners in the country because they're like, oh, we want to help wealth equality. That's welfare state stuff. And that's going to backfire on them. But as you can see, these countries are desperate for foreigners. They're desperate for the foreigners because we're bringing that money. We're bringing that money. And we're good people. And we're scarce. We're a scarcity. We're bringing skill sets. We're bringing money. We're bringing affluency. The men that are going over to these countries, these are men who have skills. They have college degrees. They have lots of skill. Like, they're masters in various fields. Master plumbers, master electricians, master HVAC repairmen. They're going to these countries with crazy skill sets. They're opening businesses over there. They're taking out loans. They're accessing funds from the United States and using those funds to start a business overseas. So they're bringing money into those countries. It's not a joke. What's happening to the passport sisters, though? That are trying to do the whole passport bro thing. These are the women. They're the ones who are getting thrown in jail. Y'all think it's a game? They're getting thrown in jail.
If you cover your face, why do people cover their face after they're already arrested? We know what you look like. Look at this girl from America in the back. Their mask on. Yep. Walking away, going to the Asian gulag. Smile, you on candid camera.
And I want y'all to see, I don't see any of the Asian people wearing masks. There's maybe one dude back there and he's not wearing a mask. Maybe it's pulled down. No, they're not wearing masks. Okay. So these black women, basically, they're covering their faces in shame. They don't want people to see who they are. I don't think the Asian people are forcing them to wear masks. They basically requested masks because they don't want their faces to be shown. Y'all see this? Do you see this? And what were they arrested for? What were they arrested for? I'll tell you what they were arrested for. Look, it's on the screen. Bali arrest footage of 2 Western women charged with ASSAULT. Look at that. They went over there and they put their hands on someone. They do this in American society. They get a slap on the wrist. They go to Asia. They're going to Asian gulag. Some of these countries, they still do caning. It's not a game. They're not going to get these luxurious lives like they get in America. and they run their mouths and they think that they could do whatever they want. Look at what happened to the sassy trucker. She went over to the Middle East. She thought Dubai. She thought she was going to be big and bad, right? She started running her mouth. They put her in jail. They arrested her, took her passport away. These women think that they're untouchable.
Man, them faces don't look that sassy now, man.
Yeah, no, not sassy at all.
Been confiscated because she was charged with screaming in public.
It also could result in prison time. So it's very scary.
The trip turned terrifying for Tiara Young Allen when her mom says she was a passenger in a friend's rental car and they got into an accident there in Dubai. Tina Baxter says when her daughter went to the company to retrieve her ID, credit card, and other items left in the rental, Baxter says it did not go well.
She found out that she could only receive those items if she paid an undisclosed amount of money. She dealt with a very aggressive individual, a young man there who was screaming at her.
Baxter says her 29-year-old daughter ultimately yelled back at the rental car agent, she says, resulting in her being charged for screaming there in Dubai.
And so she is in jail for one reason alone. She raised her voice. In that country, a female is not even allowed to raise her voice. If she raises her voice, it's punishable by jail time.
It's been very emotional. There are some days I stay up all night crying.
They have a strict law system that is really based on theocracy.
This website warns, quote, laws and customs are very different, so be aware of your actions to ensure they don't offend while in United Arab Emirates.
Don't offend. So let me make this very clear. The law is not simply on women. The law is also on men. So in other words, it's not a matter of if you scream at if you're a woman, you yell at a man in Dubai and you're going to go to jail. No, if you yell, if you're a man and you create public havoc, you start yelling, they'll arrest you as well. And the punishment that you get as a man could be even more severe than the women get. So the thing is, men understand hierarchy. The men understand code of conduct. As a result, the men will fall within the parameters of behavior within the country. Women, on the other hand, they feel like they can do whatever they want. I can say what I want. I could do what I want. And if you say that what I'm doing is wrong and you punish me for it, then that's misogyny. It doesn't matter if the men are punished more than the women are. It doesn't matter what happens to the men because the women have a monopoly on victimization, where women are always powerful victims and men are always villains, pathetic villains. That's just how it is. But when they go overseas, they find something different. They find something completely different. Guys, you have to understand something. Without the welfare state propping up, these people, this type of culture, the woke culture, it doesn't work overseas. Woke does not work overseas when you don't have a welfare state. Woke only works when you have a welfare state, when you have socialism, because we're living in increasing amounts of socialism in Western society in the United States. But when you don't have other people, when you run out of other people's money, all of that starts to go away. When the government runs out, and it absolutely will. When they start to run out of the value of fiat currency always goes back to zero. And there are so many lunatics that believe that you're just supposed to keep on printing money, and everything will be okay. Like these people are insane, y'all. They are insane. One of the reasons why you have guys like Bill Gates buying up farmland, and don't get me wrong, there's definitely some issues there, but one of the reasons why these people are buying up so much land is because that's something tangible. So even when the value of the dollar decreases, what ends up happening is the value of your land increases. Think about it carefully. As the value of the dollar decreases, the value of the land and of the property increases. That's one of the reasons why property is so high right now in terms of value. Because from 2000 to 2024, the value of the dollar has declined rapidly. Things now cost easily anywhere from 3 times, 5 times, or even sometimes 10 times more than they cost in 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. What do I mean by that? Guys, 10 years ago, roughly 10 years ago, more or less, let's say at McDonald's, a McDouble was like $1, right? You get a McDouble for like $1, 10, 11 years ago. 2024, McDouble, how much does it cost now? Like almost $5. Okay? Depending on where you buy it. So you're spending anywhere from 3 to 4 times, or even 5 times what a burger used to cost back then. What it used to cost back. This is crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Tater tots. Like $5 for a bag of tater tots. They used to be 99 cents. Chinese food. What used to cost $2, $3, now it's $9, $12 for the same thing. So now it costs 3 to 4 times what it used to cost. So then when you look at property, when you look at these properties, 20 years ago, a property that would cost $150,000 back then, a lot of these properties are now going for almost $1 million. $1 million. So you can see that the value of the dollar has declined rapidly. That's why people are buying land, because the dollar has gone to crap. Yet there's all these idiots that keep on saying that our biggest mistake is not printing more money. And they're saying that, oh, the reason why we're having all of this inflation is because wages have gone up. Wages have not kept up with inflation. And yet they're saying that the reason why we're seeing such massive inflation is because of the increase in wages. Because when wages go up, so does inflation. Oh my God, guys, these people are insane. These people are insane. They're 100% insane. Guys, don't forget that I have another channel called Angry, where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to it in the description of the video. Go and check it out. Subscribe to the channel, support my work. And also, I have another channel called Men Walking Away, where I talk about more topics like the topics I talk about on this channel. So if you want more angry guy content, more Manosphere content, go and check that channel out. There's a link to that channel in the description of the video. Subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to my Angry channel. Support my work. Buy my album. Men are being arrested for having boundaries. What do you guys think about this insane phenomenon? I think it's absolutely sickening. But that just shows us how far society has fallen, and the reason why it's time to go. It's time to walk away, because they can try to shame us. They'll do anything they can, but it doesn't matter, because we are surviving and thriving outside of Western society. The West is done. And I called it many years ago. I made a video called Men Leaving the West, and I predicted that men would begin to walk away from Western society. And we are seeing that, and it's only going to accelerate. What do you guys think about everything we discussed in the video here? I want to hear your thoughts, so let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away, and cheers.